Happy birthday to Marcy being first. Happy birthday to Libby being first. It is glitchy. We've already dropped 23% of the frames. 22% of the frames. So it's getting better. It says excellent connection, and now it's saying no data. So within 59 seconds, we went from first to worst. And we might not be able to continue here today. Now it's looking good. Welcome to the internet, kids. So just a quick one today. I shouldn't be doing this. I should be out getting ready. I have an x-ray this morning at 8:15 on the foots, which is currently hurting. It's been almost 9 weeks now. I shouldn't be hurting, I don't think. The foot should be fine, but that's what's going on. So how is everybody? And by everybody, I mean constructive critique. I can't even talk yet. It's that early. And Marcy and Libby, how's everybody doing this morning? We will, I don't know, just check in with Fox and Friends, or maybe I'll just talk the whole time. I don't care. I just thought, you know what? I didn't broadcast yesterday in honor of the great Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. And also, I just didn't broadcast. Other stuff going in here. Happy coffee to everybody. Wow. That's kind of a neat effect. Nope, not over there. All right. So yeah, got an x-ray this morning, and we'll see what's going on with the foot. I actually won't see what's going on with the foot because I can't read the x-ray. I mean, I kind of can, but they let me look at it last time, and I was like, I don't think that's done yet, because there was a nice little hole in my bone about that big. There. If I do things in front of my face, I can see them. We live, we learn. So in other news, the Ponderosa Studios is going to happen. So I think the paperwork has been finalized out now without losing a big deposit or something. So we'll be moving in a little while. We'll be coming to you from the Ponderosa Studios in just a matter of days, weeks, months, something. So we'll do that, and that'll make it easier to I'm also glad that I have to broadcast. I'm also glad that I have both legs and both feet. I appreciate what I have. I really do. I don't know if there's any body part that I'd be like, I could do without it. People think like, yeah, your little toe. You'd be okay without your little toe. I'd rather not. Like if I had to join the Yakuza and they were going to chop off my middle toe as sort of a gang initiation thing, I'd be like, no, I'm good, guys. Well, it's the only way you can feed your family. Well, I'm going to let them starve. I don't lose my toe. They can take care of themselves. They can give their own toes, as far as I'm concerned. Libby says, my daughter had to go to work early and didn't make coffee. Oh, God. I am so sorry. Morning, Stephanie. I didn't even alert Stephanie via text this morning. She wants me to alert when I broadcast, and I'm a bad person. Plus, I looked at the clock and said, oh, crap, I don't have time. Don't have time. Oh, hi, Allison. I didn't even know who it was. I didn't care. You seem nice. It was a friendly font. Let's just, I have about 10 minutes, so let's get right into it. Let's go over, look over what we're upset about today. I had a pretty good MLK Day. It's just, MLK Day comes along, and all these right-wingers who do everything they can, to work against voting rights that particularly affect minorities. Here's the thing. In 2020, we had a record number of voters. Yay, right? That's democracy. Very little fraud, and every single fraud case that I've seen involved people trying to vote for Trump. And that's a handful of people. Voting for Trump twice, or voting for Trump under their dead mother's name, or whatever it was. And everyone's going absolutely ape about this. Oh, the Democrats are trying to get rid of voter ID. No, they're not. The Voters' Rights Act does not take away voter ID. All it says, like, for example, in Louisiana, like Delaware, like many, many states, you have an expired ID. If for some reason they won't accept your ID, maybe you're a student and for whatever reason in that state they don't take your student ID, you're in let's say you're in Texas and your student ID says you live in Texas, but you actually live in Louisiana, and Texas is like, no, you can't vote here. But I'm registered. No, you're not going to be allowed to vote today. All right, fine. Let's say you forget your wallet. Let's say you have an expired ID, which happens by the hundreds of thousands every single federal election year. A lot of places, like, you can't vote without that voter ID. But in in many places, the system is, here, stating you are who you are with your birthday and your place of residence and how you register to vote, whatever it is, and then you can vote. And the Secretary of State, the local election board, whomever it is, they can challenge that affidavit and disqualify your vote. They won't disqualify your vote. What'll happen is that you'll go to jail for 2 years. And do you know how many people lie on that affidavit when they fill it out? None. Nobody does that. Nobody lies on an affidavit. This is who I am. The Pima County results came back. The audit of Pima County, Arizona, which was the secondary county in Arizona after Maricopa County being the most populous, where they audited the results because they're sure Donald Trump won Arizona. And they audited the results because they thought 17,000 people voted twice. Well, they looked at that, and they actually ended up charging 0 people. Not a single charge. They looked at all of the, these people voted twice. These people don't live here. They looked at all of them, and it turns out that all of those votes were A-OK. Let's see what's going on in the world. Anyway, so I'm not currently outraged about anything except my foot's still hurting. But you know what? It just may hurt for the rest of my life. Fine. As long as I can walk on it, I'm good.
It's like, being that we know it's snowy there. But
are we going to talk about snow for the next 5 minutes? No. I don't think snow.
Welcome. Get ready for a big Tuesday. Tuesday like a...
Oh, it's a big Tuesday.
Monday, Steve, to a degree.
That's right. It is a...
Oh, well, yeah, because yesterday was a holiday for people.
Tuesday that feels a lot like a Monday because a lot of people had yesterday off. But we
Yes,
are
they
back
did.
at it. Thank you very much for joining us on this Tuesday edition of Fox and Friends. We've got lots of news that starts right now. There's one of the things we've been talking about that is facing Joe Biden is the crime surge across the country. What is particularly troubling about, for instance, the crime in New York City is it's so random. You just don't know when something's going to happen. We're going to tell you 2 stories this morning. The first one, we start out in California, in Los Angeles. A UCLA grad student was...
That's here.
Working at an upscale furniture store. Her name, Brianna Kupfer. She was supposed to
What does this have to do with... Oh my God, she was murdered?
Thursday, later in the day, fly out of LA to go to New York, to JFK, to celebrate a friend's birthday. But about 1:40 in the afternoon, apparently a homeless man walked into the store she was working at, an upscale furniture store called Croft House, walked in and knifed her. And about 20 minutes later, her dead body was discovered by a customer. It's interesting.
Oh, that's terrible.
Apparently, they're now able to connect some of the dots, and this homeless person walked into a chiropractor just before he stabbed her. Says the suspect walked in the office shortly before the stabbing, asked about orthopedics, had some other questions, and then left. And
okay,
Ainsley, they are still searching for the suspect, and there is no motive. It appears...
Crazy person.
Random.
Right.
That is what is so horrifying for every...
But this has always happened in this country and every other country.
American, because this could happen to your child, this could happen to us. All she was doing was working by herself.
Okay. Why is this the lead story? This is terrible. This is absolutely... I cannot imagine being the family. There's no way that you can put yourself in their shoes right now. Just absolutely horrific. And this is every parent's nightmare to lose a child like that. And it should never, ever happen. But why is it the lead story?
in a luxury furniture store, and this guy walks in.
What is it? What does it matter if it was a luxury furniture store?
And then leaves out of the back door. He's wearing a hoodie. He's wearing a N95 mask, and police are looking for him. They think he might be a homeless guy, but he didn't steal anything. And then, like you said, 20 minutes later,
what's he gonna do? Carry a love? Wouldn't be a love seat in a fancy furniture store. A credenza, a chaise lounge. I'm not making fun of the situation. Again, why is this the lead story? Russia is getting set to invade Ukraine.
a customer comes in and finds her.
There he is.
Okay, we have footage. Okay.
The LA County DA, George...
I think that there should be more coverage of footage like this. We could actually do something about crime if we were if there were programs that just showed crimes. Now, there are shows like Crime Stoppers, and they're amazingly successful. Work for a television station where they were the local, they had the local Crime Stoppers on. They would catch people all the time. It's going to be hard with this guy. We still haven't captured the Capitol Hill bomber. But yeah, a mask and a hoodie. Hard to identify people. But you'd be surprised at how many people actually turn in the people that they know, because someone will see this.
Gascon, there's the guy walking in the back alley. He's a Democrat, and he won voters over last year, promising these...
What? How do we know that this guy's a Democrat? This has got to be taken in because we're jumping around. Let's go back. I'm sure she's not saying that the homeless person... And how do we know he's homeless?
I think he might be a homeless guy, but he
think
didn't
he
steal
might
anything.
be a homeless guy.
And then, like,
might be a homeless guy. We don't know this. We've just stated he's a homeless guy several times, but okay.
You said 20 minutes later, a customer comes in and finds her.
There
now,
he is.
the LA County DA, George Gascon, there's the guy walking in the back alley. He's a...
Okay, so she just interjected, there's the guy walking in the back alley. She's talking about Gascon, which, by the way, I'm not a fan. And I've got a friend who works in that field and is not happy with Gascon as well. Should not be in charge of anything.
Democrat, and he won voters over last year, promising these sweeping criminal justice reforms. And the critics are saying he's putting the criminals over the safety of the community. And that young lady's father, Todd Kupfer, who's also going to be on our show later on, he blames the politicians for letting these criminals just run rampant.
We have no idea who this guy is, if he had a criminal record of any kind. Now I understand why this is their lead story. They just want to attack Democrats. They want to make this... We don't know anything about this case at this point, except that a guy walked in. Now, we may know more, because what Fox and Friends tells us has nothing to do with reality. All right, I should go now, but that's our top story. That's what we're going to cover.
He says
I'm sorry, guys.
these politicians are too lenient, and says crime is truly spiking, and we have a lot of criminals on the...
You know what? I have no issues with Mr. Comfort's assertions here. He just lost his daughter, and I feel nothing but empathy for him. I cannot imagine his suffering right now. And if his reaction is to take it out on politicians right now, fine. Should Fox and Friends be showing that? I don't know. Should they be showing the video of the guy walking? Whatever video they can find. Absolutely.
The streets that shouldn't be out. We have a lot of politicians that somehow forgot about people and think the key to getting elected is to support the lowest rung of our society and to give them rights, and somehow that's the answer to getting votes.
Okay, I don't know about this whole lowest rung of our society and give them rights and somehow that's the answer to getting votes. Wow. This is a lot of... I feel for the guy.
We need to champion my daughter as a beacon of what's wrong and make sure that people recognize that, because it could be their children next. And it's just an
I hope that they get this guy. I hope he doesn't have a long criminal record. But the bottom line is there's a bunch of people out there with criminal records, and we can build more prisons, but nobody wants to build more prisons. Nobody wants to spend the money.
And Brian and Steve, she has a sister. Her sister is her best friend, and her sister is going through a really...
Hi, Kimbers.
Her time right now, she leaves behind 2 brothers, her mother, her father. There's her gorgeous family. She had a bucket list on her phone that she mapped out all of her plans and her aspirations for her life, and that all came to an abrupt and tragic. It was walking free and decided to randomly attack her.
Okay, but we don't know anything about this guy. Except that he was walking free. But we don't know if he's ever been arrested before. We don't... Yes, crime is bad. Yes, this is a horrific event. Again, it looks like a beautiful family. Hopefully they were all nice people and they all loved each other. I'm sure that's the case. They all seem happy in the one photo. Just absolute tragedy. And I have no problem with whatever the dad's saying right now. Todd, you speak your truth. I don't know that Fox and Friends should be exploiting this.
Right. So she gets killed for absolutely no reason. You have a DA that thinks criminal first. You have a homeless population that has taken over the general population where it's totally unsafe to walk.
No.
In places when I lived out there, you'd walk around, you see some homeless, you think, wow, I guess the weather's so good you can't really help it. Back then, you'd go to an ATM and 4 people would be hovering around you asking you for money, and I thought that was horrific. I was out there a year ago, even through everything being locked up. They have taken over. It is like an ingrained city within a city. I don't know when people are going to say, why am I paying all these taxes, and why are this sub...
And this is actually true, because I've been going around and looking at it. They're clearing the homeless folks out of underneath the overpasses. Obviously this is an issue. Homelessness is a big issue in LA. Homelessness is a big issue everywhere I go. Every city I go to, you can see homeless people under overpasses, etc. And they've been clearing. There's a bunch of overpasses recently we've driven through, and the homeless encampments are just gone, and I don't know where they're going. But more on that later. Okay, yeah, I do have to get ready to go. I got an X-ray at 8:15, so I'll let you guys know how that went. We might broadcast later today, might not. I don't know. Lots of things happening. Then I also have to decide pending the foot. Yeah. Anyway, I'm supposed to fly to Hawaii on Saturday, but with Omicron and my foot, I don't know if that's going to happen. But I also haven't heard of anyone in the last year who's taken a flight and then gotten Omicron from taking a flight. Everyone I know who's gotten Omicron, everyone I know who has the Omicron 3000, everyone went out and had dinner inside, or had some friends over without masks, or went to a hockey game and wore a mask, but then took the mask off so they could eat and drink. Everyone. I haven't spoken to anybody who's taken a flight and then gotten Omicron. And when I take a flight, I'm not taking that mask off. Unless someone gives me a bag of pretzels. Then it's of course, because the salt in the pretzels will stop the... Oh no, YouTube! That is not true. Do not ban me. Is joke. Okay, guys, I gotta go get an X-ray. I will talk to you later. Be good to yourselves, be good to others, but most importantly, pray for my foot.